Hello, I'm Kyle Bradshaw, and welcome to this Cruiser Customizing Tip of the Week. This week we're talking about K&N Air Filters, the reusable air filter, and why K&N has got itself on the top of the podium as the #1 air filter in the world. The #1 air filter, you say? Who uses them? Just about anybody who makes an aftermarket air kit uses a K&N. And why is that? The protection, the performance, it's unmatched. When installing a K&N filter into any of your vehicles, you're going to see an increase in fuel economy. Why? Because the motor can better utilize its resources, having more air go in, matched with more fuel. What's that going to mean? More horsepower. Better fuel economy, more horsepower, better airflow, and greater protection. All great reasons to install a K&N into any of your vehicles. Now, all K&N filters are reusable. That's right, completely reusable. How often should you replace your air filter? Depending on the manufacturer specifications, anywhere from 3,000 to 10,000 miles is when you should replace your air filter. Usually, you should check it at every oil change. If it's dirty, replace it. In the case of this Harley-Davidson filter here on the table, you're looking at anywhere between $50 and $70. For the Honda VTX one I have over there, you're looking right around $30 to $50 depending on the dealership. Now, a K&N filter that will replace these paper elements will cost between $60 and $70 on average. What does that mean? It means in basically 2 filter changes, you've completely paid for the price of the K&N. So not only are you saving money, you're adding performance to your motorcycle or whichever vehicle you choose to put a K&N filter onto. But how difficult is it to clean? Super simple. We'll get into that just a little bit later. Just about every aftermarket air kit manufacturer out there uses K&N filters in their systems. The Big Sucker from Arlen Ness uses K&N. The Hypercharger from Kuryakyn uses K&N. The Baron's Big Air Kit uses K&N. Rolan Sands, even Rolan knows that the K&N filter is the best filter on the market. So why try to recreate that? You incorporate that into your air kit and now you have one of the best filtering air kits on the market. There might be some skepticism on how much better the K&N filter flows versus the stock air filter. Take a look at the sample here. This is a paper filter very similar to either the Harley-Davidson or this Honda filter I have here on the table. We're going to go ahead and show you how this paper filter flows dramatically less air compared to a K&N filter. We're going to turn the fan on here on our K&N filter machine. As you can see, the K&N is allowing enough air to go through this tube in order to float this ping pong ball on the top of this tube. Now we're going to go ahead and open this filter up. We're going to replace the K&N with an OEM paper filter. We're going to close it back up. And as you can see, this paper filter does not have enough power to even pull this ping pong ball to the top. Now, how much restriction would you have to put on the K&N filter in order to get this level of airflow? Take a look at this. With the K&N filter in place, we can cover the filter with duct tape, effectively limiting the airflow. 1/3 of the air has been taken away from this K&N, and it's still flowing more than the paper filter. We take away over half of the airflow, and this ball now sinks to the bottom. From the looks of it, you can cover up nearly half of the K&N filter and still have excellent filtering capabilities. Riding down the road, you run into dirt and grime and all kinds of nasty stuff. This is a segment of dirt and nastiness that I've pulled out of the vacuum cleaner so that we can get a lot of fine dust particles. As you can see, it takes a lot of dirt and dust and grime to be able to negatively affect your K&N filter. But eventually, over time, you're going to affect that filter enough that your filtration is going to be limited. Now that we've shown you the dramatic difference between a K&N and a paper filter, let me show you how simple it is to clean a K&N filter when it's dirty. As you can see, the back side that doesn't get direct airflow is still pretty clean, although it is lacking oil, and we're definitely going to need to take care of that. But the front facing side is absolutely filthy. And this being the case, this is not getting as much airflow as it possibly could. The first thing you're going to want to do when you clean your K&N filter is go ahead and knock any loose particles off. You're then going to take your filter cleaner and you're going to spray it to the clean side and then the dirty side. We're going to let this soak for about 10 minutes. And then after that 10 minutes, we're going to go ahead and rinse the filter. You want to rinse it before it has a chance to dry. All right, now that about 10 minutes has passed, we're going to take these into the kitchen. Now what we're going to do is we're going to rinse the clean side out the filthy side. That way the dirt doesn't have to go all the way through the filter to clean this. We're going to use cold water, and we're just going to rinse each of these pleats like so. Here we've got my Arlen Ness big sucker filter. As you can see, this is the really dark side and this is the light side. So let me rotate this under the water, once again from the clean side to the dirty side, and see what we get. There you go. As you can see, this filter here is now the same color all the way around. I got these two filters clean. I'm going to take these outside and let them dry in the sunlight. Now before I leave these out here to dry, I'm going to go ahead and tap them a little bit, get some of that excess water out. As you can see, there was quite a bit of water stuck in these filters. Just out of the California sunshine, we have both of our K&N filters. Now, one thing I want to point out, it is not a good idea to high pressure or air nozzle these things to get them dry, as it can and most likely will damage your air filters. There's two different kinds of filter recharge kits that you can order. The 99-5050 has a standard liquid oil that you pour onto the pleats, and the 99-5000 is an aerosol can. Now let me show you how these act slightly different on these filter materials. What we're going to do is we're going to tip the bottle and we're going to run a bead of oil down each of these pleats. The other oil that's found inside the 99-5000 is an aerosol can. This is installed by doing a spray of oil right along the pleat. Now as you can see, the oil in the aerosol can is a bit thinner than the oil in the squeeze bottle, and 2 applications may be necessary. So I'm going to go ahead and finish both of these filters up. As you can see here on the pleated filter, everything is filled in and everything is colored red. Back, front, everything looks great. Here on the round filter, on the outside we look pretty good, but on the inside we have quite a few white spots. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and apply oil so that all these white spots turn red. So now that we let this filter sit for a while, we're going to go ahead and take a napkin or a rag and we're going to wipe down all of the excess that may be on this filter. Now we can go ahead and install this back into our motorcycle. And there you have it. K&N is legitimately the best air filter out there you can put on your motorcycle. Not only will it give you an increase in horsepower, an increase in fuel economy, it's also going to save you cash every single time you need to replace that stock filter. Thank you for joining us for this Cruiser Customizing Tip of the Week. Until next week, take care and ride safe.